it seems to me the easier solution would have just been intentionally throw it, lose this thing, then you go back home and have an affair with a gardener. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we are back with another episode of Yatagarasu. We come back after, God, I don't know how to describe it. You know, just some weird Lifetime drama shit. Obviously, I have notes about it, but it's just the element of, I guess I, from the beginning, was like, Shiratama, that's a really cool character. And it seems like she's going to be the first of the girls' tragedy who we're going to see. Again, if you believe Asebi is who she says she is, then maybe her mother's thing is a tragedy, or Hamio being adopted is a thing. But I think this is like the first real thing. And as of note, I just don't believe Asebi anymore. It's weird because I was really on board with her from the moment that she looked like she was getting bullied. And now I think she's like an assassin spy who's out for us, so I don't know. Anyway, again, we'll get into that in my notes, but first we have the board, which has the board changelog, where I added Samomo's younger brother, just in case. I connected Sumio to Asebi with a white line. I connected Kazumi to Shiratama with a purple line, obviously. I connected Takemoto to Kazumi with a red line. I marked Kazumi as dead, and I added Kasuke. He got named. I had a picture of him. He hasn't done anything or contacted anybody, so he's sitting out there by his lonesome. In the position chart, the current location board, rather, of course, I had Kazumi to the dead area. Let's see. I didn't make a note of this, obviously. I think Rokan and Natsuka have returned to Central. That might be it. I don't remember who I moved. I apologize. You might want to refer to last episode. Otherwise, I know this is up to date. Kazuki isn't on here, obviously, because I have a note about that too. Well, I don't have a note about why he isn't on the position board, but when I get to my notes, you can put it together why I haven't put him anywhere based on the note. So yeah, speaking of notes, let's go ahead and hop into those. I know Rokan is in a position of authority when it comes to Natsuka's followers, and those followers can be in positions of power themselves. But it would be interesting to know how he got the information about Samomo's death so quickly. We know that she was attacked in the middle of the night, and it seems like it's in the early sunrise when Rokan is telling Natsuka the news. I don't know. This seems awfully fast, considering that we know he had no direct hand in it. Or at least that's what it seems, given the information we uncover later. So, if I am right about Asebi, then I think she overplayed her hand. In her need to appear innocent, she fingered herself as having talked to Samomo just the other day, which can be any length of time, really, but with a lack of people on the witness list, calling yourself out as the last known contact isn't smart. Of course, I could be wrong about Asebi, and she's exactly who she appears to be, but with the Wisteria Palace being a hotbed of hidden motives and intrigue, it certainly doesn't feel that way. So Samomo leaves for 2 days on Asebi's mission, comes back looking scared, dies in the middle of the night to a mysterious assailant. Prince orders the Yamauchi Guard to investigate. The Wisteria Guard also begin investigating and tell everyone not to respond to the Yamauchi Guard, even if asked. We then are introduced to the new gardener of the prince, who will die later in the episode, revealing Shiratama's own mental instability. Suspiciously, people were calling for them to be captured alive and for rope to be brought when Takemoto killed him. Could that have been done to silence him? Takemoto does ultimately work for the palace, which would put her under the Empress. So, if something larger is afoot, there is a path that could be traced for responsibility, orders, whatever. Though, why was he in the Autumn Hall when it seemed like he should have been going to the Winter Hall? Is that an element of him not knowing the path? The same way that he had to be led to the spying area before? Kazumi was a gardener in the north that was so good that they worked at the main house. The prince brings them in and agrees to grant his wish, which seems to be to see Shiratama, which I guess makes sense since they seemed to be an item before Shiratama was brought in to try and win over the prince. I guess the only person she had access to was the gardener, back wherever she was. I mean, I think that's the episode we're going to get now, is the flashbacks to that. But all we really got from her position was that one flash of a meal on a railing. I really did not get it. The thing is, we see Shiratama slicing paper, folding cranes, etc. before Kazumi is killed, meaning she had already had her mental breakdown before that point. I get that this is indicative of the moment she truly goes over the edge, but she seemed more together than that when she was threatening the other two in the water the previous day. The only other event to happen between now and then was Somomo's death, so maybe the indication is that the inverse of what Hamio said when she asked if she could at least pretend to mourn. Maybe she was pretending to not mourn. I don't know what that means either. I mean, I do know what that means. I wrote it. I mean, the intent there is that she had some sort of connection to Somomo and that she was actually hurt by her death and that was pushing her closer to the edge. I don't believe it's true. It's just the element of if I don't put it out there. I thought it, but if I don't put it out there and it turns out to be right, then I can't, like, backtrack after it's already happened. So I tend to just all my thoughts out there. Well, I think we've seen that Atsufusa is rightly over his head. He's suspicious to Rokan, is working with the prince for Natsuka's best intentions, which I'm sure no one will understand, and now he's insulted Toru to the point of having him remind Atsufusa of the difference of their birth status. I'm saying he's insulted Toru, he's insulted all of the South. But, that directly itself insults Toru. If he's not careful, he'll follow in Kazumichi's footsteps. Or I guess ass print, considering he was ass to the floor when he got killed. I'm still trying to figure out who the prince went to see, pretending to be his own servant. I believe in the reaction I was guessing the Western House, but that can't be right because Masho no Suzuki is the first daughter of the Western House, so no one would have bowed out to allow her to go. I think the best clue is likely their clothes, but the shots are done so close in and in the dark that it's hard to tell. It doesn't really match any of the outfit schemes that we've seen. My best guess is that it's Toro's real daughter, and we'll eventually be learning why she would take the secret to the grave, and maybe that Hamio's actual secret is, as the adoption thing was already implied to be a known occurrence. I don't feel like that would have gotten her kicked out, so I don't think that's what Shiratama was threatening her with. At least I hope not, because, again, the implication is that other people have done this before, and it's not a big deal. And my final note here is just a clarification, or just saying the thing, right? Say the obvious thing out loud. I don't recall if I said anything before during the reaction, but she calls out Kazumi by name without anyone ever mentioning him or even knowing who the dead body was. So yeah, no mystery on that anymore. That said, that is all of my notes. I believe we're heading into, well, the parts on the next time on made it seem like this was going to be a flashback episode to Shiratama's I assume fucked up childhood. So let's go ahead and hop on in and see what we can learn this time.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
I'm assuming that's 2 graves in the woods. Okay, gardeners are magic. Oh, it's the prince. Never mind. Oh, right into the opening. I was confused because Kazuma also kind of has that same appearance, and not for nothing, gardener. I was about to launch into the fact that we don't talk about the aspect that he was a northern spy, and, you know, that doesn't get brought up at all. I don't even know what he was a spy about. Well, the hairbrush. Sorry, the hairbrush being an element of Samomo stealing stuff, they said, and the letter. I'm just noticing there's all this stuff in the opening, which is now actually poignant to the story. However, no real hints are given in the opening about it. I guess it's like apothecary diaries when you think about it. Anyway, Kazuma, spy for the North, no real information given from that. The prince is visiting 2 graves in the woods. What does that imply? I do not know. Maybe the element that he is... Wait a second. Does that mean that Asebi is related to the prince? This is just coming into my head. If if Asebi's mother and the former emperor had relations and they had a kid, would that be the prince? Because we know the prince is born from a different woman. God, I'm gonna have to go back over the board after this episode. I apologize. It only just occurred to me. Yeah, you can't come here with a love with another man in your heart and not for the prince. Although oddly, what if you came here with the love of Natsuka in your heart? I mean, yeah, would you love a man so much that you would know it was him when he shapeshifted? Genyu. Mother. I guess you gotta plan these things out ahead of time. I guess he all got real lucky that all 4 houses had a daughter in the age range of the prince all at the same time. Oh, I think that's the tray thing I was thinking about before, and it didn't turn out not to be food. I gotta admit, this is nowhere near as traumatic as I thought it was going to be. But then again, Genyu never turned out... Genyu never looked like he was the traumatic type of person. He always seemed so happy and fun for some reason.
これで十分よ。あなたは和美ね。これからもよろしく。
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy if this turns out to be she went crazy because of a genuinely happy and good relationship.
朝の光に庭全体が金色に照り映えるんです。その美しさといったら。
I don't even know why I thought she was like getting locked up or something.
見てみたいわ、あなたの庭。でも無理ね。私にはそんな遠いところ。
Oh.
俺が連れて行きます。
If she tries to sneak out, I could see her getting locked away.
大家軍においては、ホッケの姫にふさわしい立ち振る舞いを心がけねばなりません。そもそも東電とは庭師に会うことはなりませんよ。東電が決まった時
Guess it's an open secret.
姫様は若宮殿下の女になられたのです。
わかってるわ。でも和美は。
樹代はホッケの悲願なのです。あなたはも
Oh, they drilled that fucking shit into her.
ものではないのです。
白玉、俺と一緒に逃げてくれ。
Where could she even run?
貧しいだろうけど、きっと幸せにするよ。
I guess, to be fair, there's two women on the board who attempted to run away and
ありがとう。
had kids and then
だけ
died.
どあなたと一緒に逃げても、私は幸せになれないわ。
あなたならそう言うと分かっていた。それでも俺の気持ちは変わらない。あなたの笑顔のためならこの命も惜しくない。これから先何があったとしても。
Like I said, this is like genuinely a wholesome relationship that I'm surprised
姫
turned
様
out this way.
宗家に潜り込ませたものから文が。どの家も叩けば誇りの出ることばかり。なんけなどひどいものです。
かすみ。
Well, that's something. Also, it does bring in his spy
ナー
aspect.
家には樹代を諦めてほしいのです。それとも秘密をばらされ全てを失い大家宮を出ていくか。あなた方が受代するようなことになれば。
I guess she's also destroying all the evidence. I don't know, just this backstory doesn't match the insanity. It's not insane, but I mean, it just doesn't match the breakdown. I'm assuming this is happening after he died. Oh, never mind.
かずみ、なぜここに来たの？
She was gonna kill herself
白玉、
because she remembered he existed?
ひどいことをたくさんしたわ。あなたには言えないようなこと。
Well,
あなたの好きだった白玉はもういないのよ。
that's the element, though, is that they didn't show us any of the horrible things that she's done other than threatening
俺の気持ち
them.
は変わらない。
That wasn't so horrible that I think she would have killed herself for
あ
it.
んたは俺のすべてだ。
私は若宮の女よ。
次の
I mean, not if you lose.
舞台脇の馬屋に来てくれ。そこで待っている。
I guess the stable's closer to the autumn wing than it is the winter one. That already got
私は行か
lost.
ないわ。
俺は待つよ。 いつまでもあなたが来るまで。
It seems to me the easier solution would have just been intentionally throw it. Lose this thing. Then you go back home and have an affair with a gardener.
白玉。
To be fair, she took your knife away from you.
私は入内するのです。あなたも約束してくださった。自分は身を引き、私にその座を譲ると。ホッケと南家が手を組めば、もはやサイ家もトウ家も恐るるに足らず。そうでしょう、浜優様。
白玉。南家は動かないよ。
Yeah, so I feel like
私は何も約束しちゃいない。
there's enough evidence here to take us
南
both
家
out.
も何も伝えていない。
では、ホッケが南家と組んだというのは。
あんたらが何を言われたか知らないがね。南家は竹のおこぼれで満足するようなつつましい家じゃないんだ。
浜優。
Well,
私を裏
I
切
think I left that line white, so that makes sense to me.
お前もはったりかましてきてただろう。私を責める権利はないよ。
Ooh, that's an insane face. I guess maybe that's gonna be the thing?
お相手が必要ですかな、姉上。
トール。
Oh, sister. I mean, we knew she was from the Southern House, but
そなたも暇ではないであろうに。
sister, that's a
姉
more
上が
direct
お呼び
connection.
になったのでしょう。大家宮が騒がしい
So when I
よう
said,
ですが
is that gonna be the thing? Are they slowly, one girl at a time, gonna take themselves out of the
そ
running?
の前は女房の転落死だ。何を警備しておるのか。富士宮連も間抜けなことよ。若宮に至っては来る気
I
配
think that's an
もない
indication of what I said in my
舞台
notes.
を用意してもカラス太夫の出番もないわ。
Of course. I said the Empress is pulling strings.
一つ見込み違いをされてますわ。私があなたの秘密を知ってると言った。あれはハったりなどではありませんのよ。この女は宮ガラスではありません。山ガラス。いえ、もしかしたら馬？
Well, I mean, horse is a very specific
ヤガ
thing.
ラスや馬などに東電が許されるなど。
では、もともとが高い血筋の生まれなら、10年前の政変で、とある高貴な身分の男とその妻が重罪を犯し、共に首を落とされるという一件がありました。そしてその夫婦には、
Well, he did say she is definitely.
そう、この女は、浜優は罪人の子供なのです。浜優様が罪人の子？
白玉、いい加減なことは。そこまでバレちゃ仕方ない。続きは私が引き受けるよ。
I mean, fair enough. I asked for more than just being adopted. This is that.
お前たち、若宮と藤波の母親のことは知っているな。
いざよいの君、私のおばですわ。
はあ、そうだったな。そのいざよいの君を亡き者にしたのが、時の南家当主だった私の親だ。
God, this is so much in one episode. This is definitely notes for next time.
私の両親が若宮と藤波の母親を殺したんだ。
It's gonna be incredibly hard for you to win his heart.
引きを図ったのは私の叔父で現当主の徹様だ。宗家が動き出す前に叔父は両親を捕らえると、その日のうちに
Now that seems like he's trying to hide something. Like the full story's not out there.
身分剥奪の上、残息の刑が言い渡された。
Disarticulation? What the hell does that mean?
3本目の足を切り落とし、人の形に戻れないようにして、死ぬまで馬として働かせる罰だよ。
But you are in human
まだ子供
form.
だという理由で、最終的には免れたがね。
No, there we go.
以来、山ガラスとして生きてきた。それこそ。
And there we go, the gravestones that we saw earlier.
東電とは芝居のようなものだ。
ん
役目を背負わされた者たちが大家具という箱の中を右から左へ。だが当人たちは気づいておらぬ。そこが箱の中であると、己が駒の一つに過ぎぬと、まったく哀れな女たちよ。
一概にそうとは言えぬかもしれませんぞ。女人のしたたかさは姉上も。
Again, I think asebi is playing a part, so.
箱を抜け出す機会を狙う者がおるやもしれません。
運が巡ってきたのは8年前。私は叔父に再会した。叔父は当主となっていた。その時に殺されてもおかしくはなかったけど、私は交渉を持ちかけたんだ。身分を回復してほしい。その代わり、南家のために何でもする。
Not really an offer, that's more like begging.
こうして私は晴れて南家の姫君に返り咲いた。とある重大な任務を負うのと引き換え
Are
に。
you the assassin?
重大な任務。
Remember, we heard there was an assassin.
若宮の暗殺。
Boom, called it. Remembering shit.
嘘。
さすがにそこまでは読めなかったか。ま、若宮は気づいていたんだろうね。
Yeah, he knows. He doesn't know which one,
大
though.
家具に来ないとこを見ると、もう一つの任務は身代わりだ。若宮が死ねば、夏香様が皇太子として返り咲く。その日のために、本命の姫を南家は取っておきたか
That
った
makes
さ。
sense. I even mentioned that earlier, but if he came into this with a love
そ
for
れに手伝わ
Natsuka,
せた姫がこうなせば、宗家は3代にわたりほぼ南家一色に染められる。3代もあれば政権は完全に手中に入る。南家による山内の支配の
that's what I
完成
kept
だ。
talking about.
それが南家の真の狙い。
If you're in charge, how do you not affect everything
ああ、
for all the
全部
future
喋っちまった。し
ascensions?
かし、南家には恐れいるよ。私の親が殺した女の、その子供をまた、私に殺させようって言うんだからさ。
あなた、そこまで分かっていてなぜ。
そういうわけだ、白玉。偉そうに宿下がりしろなんて言ったけど、それは私の方だったな。すまなかった。
You can just jump out the window?
もちろん逃げるさ。不守備の上にこんだけばらしちまったんだ。
Oh yeah, that's right. She can still turn into a.
捕まえば
forgot.
今度こそ命がない。後で滝本に行って私の部屋を調べるといい。お前たちが茶会だの花見だのしている間にこっそりいただいたものがあるから。
それはまさか。
いいかいお前たち。最後にこれだけは言っておくよ。大家具だけが世界じゃないし、好いた男と一緒になるだけが女の幸せってわけでもない。
Okay.
そこを勘違いして夢自分の幸せを逃すんじゃないよ。
Except for you, Shiritama. You fucked up and lost everything. And once again, how much do the Wisteria guards fucking suck? This is daytime.
ご報告が。
駒が箱を抜け出したか。松陰、
は、
あの男を呼べ。
御意。
Rokan, I imagine. Again, the element I keep saying is that she has her own loyalty. She's at the top. Essentially, the palace works for her.
やっと追いついた。急ぎ若様にご報告したいことが。
若様ではない。今は中央から来た下男の住丸。
あ、そうでした、住丸様。ってそれどころじゃないんですよ。大家具が大変で、侵入者に脱走者に。
落ち着いてから話せ。
その前になんか食べていいですか。やっぱり大家具は一筋縄ではいきませんね。
But to be fair, things have been extremely difficult lately. Again, I'm gonna have so many fucking
杉尾さんが
notes.
一連の事件について話を聞きに行ったんですけど、秋殿に侵入した不審者は転身したまま死んだので身元の確認は難しい。その前に転落死した女房が持っていた櫛は今も元の持ち
Asebi,
主
right?
は
What was
分からず、
Asebi?
宗家の滝本様はじめ他の方たちもみんなやけに口が固くて、
Also, our gardener went
杉尾
missing.
さんも頭を抱えていました。あ、でも一つ分かったことが、浜優様が殿下の命を狙っていたそうです。
大花宮に私を狙う資格が潜んでいる
Yeah,
ようなの
that's
だ。
what I was remembering just before she
東
said
電が
it.
始まる直前に警告文が届いて。
誰からです？
さあ、
夏殿からは
Was it the
殿下が
gardener?
姫様たちに当てた文がこっそり見つかりました。殿下の動向を探っていたんでしょう。でもまあ、これで不安の種が一つ減りましたね。ごちそうさまで
Don't
した。
know, he doesn't seem happy about it.
それで、
And
お前
I
は
think
納
he
得してい
knows
るのか？
more.
それは正直モヤモヤしてます。自白したとはいえ、なんかしっくりこないんですよね。それに浜優様には助けてもらったこともあるし、そもそも警告文を出してきた人って誰なんだ？けどやっぱり限界ですよ。
I mean, we're only assuming that there's one assassin.
僕らじゃ手も足も出ない。
たとえ少なくとも手がかりは
Wouldn't be
必ずある
surprised
は
if
ず
the
だ。
final episode is Asebi killing him and she's the
あらゆる
assassin.
記憶を手繰り寄せ、知恵を絞って考えるのだ。
浜優様はまだ何か隠してそうな気がするんですよね。それになぜ自白を？殺されるって分かっていただろうに。浜優様は死角じゃない？もしかして何か別の目的が？いやでも何のために？
着眼点は悪くないぞ。
I mean, the problem therein is that she was telling a
滝本の言うこ
room
とも鵜呑みにしてはいけない。
where one of the people
滝
would be
本
the
は宗家の
assassin.
女房だ。あれの頭には
That
宗
she's
家を
the
守る
assassin.
ことと東電をつつがなく終わらせることしかない。当初から山内衆を締め出すような対応だった。滝本
It's
の
literally
話
something I brought up in my
自
notes.
分たちに都合のいいようでっち上げられた可能性がある。
Because she's working for the Empress.
戻
Her
るぞ。
loyalty isn't to the system, it's to
何かピンときたん
the
ですか？
system.
これからそれを確かめる。ユキヤ、お前にはこれまで以上に働いてもらわねばならない。忙しくなるぞ。
Yeah, the game is afoot now.
しました。あそこだよ。
Is that Hamio? She dead already?
まだ息がある。
Deadish? God, I feel like... God, we're on episode 9? I feel like we just got done at 8 episodes of prologue, and this... You know, this is like when you watch Game of Thrones, and what seems like the main character suddenly dies. And you're like, oh shit, is this what this show is about? Like, there have been moments of like, okay, this is what this show is like, and I think there's gonna be a twist, or this character's not what they seem, or political intrigue has been set up as we go. But this is the turning point, I feel like, and also not for nothing, not the turning point. Because, Hamio, I'm the assassin, I am the daughter of the person who killed the prince's parents and was sent to finish the job, essentially. And the idea that she's not actually, but again, 3 people in the room she's talking to, one of them will actually be the assassin. What would be the point of lying to them? I guess that's actually the question. What would be the point of lying to them? Yeah, the element that Toro is the Empress's brother? Like, I don't exactly know what that implies, but the fact is that he took out the previous.
正体を明かし消えた浜優だが企ては止まらない。嵐の夜、血の香りが満ちる館で若宮の身に危機が迫る。その時幸也は次回若宮暗殺。
There's a lot going on just in that. I said Atsufusa is over his head, and it looks like he's fighting Rokon. And look, Rokon that's like Mike Tyson fighting a 5th grader. I do not see Atsufusa getting out of that unless Atsufusa has his own thing that hasn't been discussed before, some secret ability or whatnot. The prince, I mean, obviously I'm not worried the prince is going to die. It's, one, he had that whole, I'm protected by a thing that I can't let you know, and then that I can't let you know, that Yukiya doesn't want to know. And here we are, everything depends on Yukiya, who doesn't know. But, my main point is the fact that I don't think the prince can die. We would be 10 episodes in, and to have him die halfway through would be kind of weird. And even if he did, who's next in line? This guy, me. So it's win. I mean, obviously I'm not invested in him winning because, well, I am invested. I got drawn as him. I got automatic investment the moment that happened. I just don't know where the story would go from there. Because, what? That would be the remaining people try to stop it from happening, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's worth investing the brain power into trying to determine what the storyline would be if it's just fighting Natsuka and everyone that follows him. I do like the from the top planning, though. We don't really know what the Empress's plot is, but the idea that they're keeping a daughter to the side to marry Natsuka once we finish off the prince, it's pretty clever. Yeah. Like I said, there's a lot to go over next time. I'm obviously going to have to do a lot of work on the board because there's a lot of people who are now related. There's a lot of characters who I don't believe were introduced before. Well, they were, but they weren't named. That we now have to not keep track of, backtrack, because they're in the past, but their existence influences what's going on now. So I do definitely need to keep track of them on the board. It's so much. Again, I feel like this whole episode was just a turning point in the story, and yet I have the gut feeling that it's not the big step that we're going to take, that something bigger is just around the corner, that this was the introduction to that big thing, and then that big thing is going to happen. Like, obviously, next episode feels like it's the payoff to, it's the action payoff to this episode's setup. So, well, I could ramble on for another 10 minutes, but I think you guys get the idea that I'm on board with everything that's happening so far. Just expect a longer note-taking section as I try to put everything together next time. So, until then, once again, I have been Theta. This has been Stoneface Reactions, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?